Time for another board game review, and this time we have the game Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizards Annihilageddon deck building game. This was sent to me by Cryptozoic Entertainment, and it's designed by Matt Hyra and Corey Jones. You have it in your hands, the big one, baby. Sure, all those rumbles, duels, and melees were frickin' awesome, but that was lead up to the big show. The battle to end all battles. Shit, you've been to Mount Skull's fire and ripped a wizard's spleen straight out his ass. You torched the guy's face till his eyes melted and popped right out of the damn socket in the middle of Murder Shroom Marsh. You have done it all and lived, sort of, to tell the tale. Now it's your turn to prove you're a badass to the entire wizard world. It's your time to enter the Hall of Legends, to win the Annihilageddon, and get your wish. Now this is in the same series, the Cerberus engine, as I've reviewed the DC deck building game in the past, the Attack on Titan deck building game, Rick and Morty. Same system, so I'm not going to go through all of those rules. If you want to see how the Cerberus engine plays, look up episode 15, DC Comics deck building game. I'm just going to go over what this adds to the game on top of the existing system, which is a very simple system. So in this game, you actually have HP, which is a little bit different. At the beginning of the game, you are dealt 2 random wizard abilities. So it might be something like, the second time you play a treasure during your turn, you may put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck. Or cards with cost 4 or less you buy or gain from the lineup go to the top of your deck. You pick one of those abilities, and that one goes into play. Then you are given 2 random familiars. We have Harry the Eldritch Pube, +2 power, attack, deals 7 damage to target foe, and it's a defense card. The other one is Spoogie the Wizard Penis, +3 power. If you have 3 or more spells in your discard pile, additional +3 power. Now, whichever one you choose, you pick that character. So you can pick Ball of Cthulhu or Hellish Huffman and his Band of Rage. Let's say I pick Ball of Cthulhu. So what you do is you take that character's board and you place the artifact underneath it, and only you can buy this artifact if you have enough power. And then your ability also goes into play. You start out with a deck of 10 shit cards and you draw 5, and as usual, you're trying to buy cards to add to your deck with power. There's also a stack of legends here, just like in other Cerberus games. This is the cost, you pay the cost, you get the card, and you go through the deck. And as usual, you pay the cost with power. If I have 5 power, buy this card, goes in your discard pile. Now the difference with the attacking in this is a lot of it is about attacking your opponent's HP. You start with 20 HP, just like in the original Epic Spell Wars games. And like that aforementioned familiar card, let's say I played this, I can deal 7 damage to a foe. They can play defense cards in retaliation to try to block it. If they don't, however, that player would take, 7 damage. If you run out of HP, you will get a Dead Wizard token. Dead Wizard tokens give you -3 points at the end of the game. Also, they give you some kind of effect, like here, resolve the current Legends group attack against yourself. Unlike the original Epic Spell Wars games, Dead Wizard stuff is bad, so it's almost always some kind of punishment. In this game, there are wild magic cards. These, you can buy at any time. They give you +2 power, or you may play the top card of any foe's deck and then put it into their discard pile. If it's ongoing, you keep it instead. And in this game, the weakness cards are Limp Wands. They are just like other games, 0 cost and -1 point at the end. Now, one type of card that this game adds are Mayhem Cards. Mayhem Cards can appear in the lineup. So something like this can be like, each player may destroy a card in their hand or discard pile. If that card has 1 or more victory point, gain a number of cards from the top of the main deck equal to the victory point value of that card. Another example might be an attack. Deal 5 damage to each player with 10 or more HP. When these Mayhem cards are drawn, you resolve them, and then you replace them with a different card. There's also the standee. Whenever you take out a wizard and give them a Dead Wizard token, you get this standee. It gives you an ongoing effect. At the end of each of your turns, draw an extra card into your new hand and then discard a card, so you have a little more choices. There is also a special standee. This is like something of the Ryla pillar or something. This is a card or a pillar. If you have Cthulhu, which is a card in the lineup, each time you destroy a card you own, pass it to your target foe's discard pile, which is pretty good. That's another pillar you can get. Otherwise, that's pretty much the main differences, is that besides the wild magic, the mayhem cards, and the standees, a lot of it is just there's this new element of you're attacking other players, getting them down to 0, giving them dead wizard tokens, and punishing them. And oh, one thing I forgot to mention is that the game can end not just through the legends running out, like normal, or if the main deck runs out. If you run out of dead wizard tokens, in each game there's a certain number based on how many players you have, the game can also end that way if you run out of tokens. So that's another way the game can end. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. So as always, I have a good time with the deck building games in the Cerberus engine. You know, they're simple, easy to pick up, and I like them. And I like this one too. One thing that was a little disappointing for me in this game, and actually the original Epic Spell Wars games too, is that the characters themselves don't have distinct powers. It just seems like kind of a waste because the art is so dynamic and different for each character. Instead, you get like random abilities and random familiars, which the familiars pair with characters, but it just seems to me like, you know, hey, you have these really interesting looking characters. Why don't they just have powers on their own? So I just thought that was a little strange, especially because the other deck building games in this series always give their characters specific powers, and this one you get random ones. Just felt a little odd to me. But that's a minor quibble, because overall, the game is good. If you don't like the other games in this line, this will not change your mind at all. It's very similar. This one's more chaotic, which might even be worse for some people. The Mayhem cards, they're very chaotic, but I thought they were fun. The standee is an okay addition. I've never felt like the standee was that, like, impressive in any of the Epic Spell Wars games, and it's no exception here. If anything, it's just like annoying to, oh, that's right, I killed someone, I gotta take this thing. I've never liked it, and it doesn't really add that much here either. It's just kind of annoying. The dead wizard tokens, I like it, but I was surprised in this game that they give you negative effects. I think in Epic Spell Wars they had the right idea in that dead wizard cards give you perks, because that way you're not just getting, you know, punishment. In this one, they're really bad for you. I feel like the balancing of giving you, like, hey, you got killed, but you get a little bonus, that would make more sense to me, but whatever. Although there are cards in the game that are influenced by the number of dead wizard tokens you have, so that was pretty neat. The wild magic cards were okay, nothing too special. The best part of this game for me was attacking each other for HP. That's a really nice twist in this series that I think works well for this title. You know, beating each other up, giving them the dead wizard tokens. It adds a level of excitement to attacks that I think the game actually needed. Future titles in this line, I would like to see a system like this. I think it was a very clever addition. Because normally these games are just kind of like about buying cards and you attack and you make them, you know, get -1 points. But this game, it's really aggressive, like hitting someone for 5 damage. Oh yeah, well, I'll block it. It made the combat feel much more visceral and much more like in your face, which I like. Overall, I enjoyed it. It's more chaotic and mean and aggressive, but if you're looking for a game in this series that has that kind of tone, I think this is a pretty solid addition. And if you're a fan of the original games, I think this is fun. I think it'd be a fun addition, sort of like a complement to the original games as well.